Hello, my name is Mario Carrion from Bandito Gaming, and this is the definitive guide for the support class in Killzone Shadow Fall. This guide will cover all abilities, weapons, as well as explosives available only to the support class in Killzone Shadow Fall. There are 6 abilities exclusive to the support class, 1 primary and 5 secondary. First, let me list all the abilities. I will elaborate about each one of them in a few moments. Let's start with the only primary ability, Revive Drone, followed by the 5 secondary abilities, Air Support Drone, Spawn Beacon, Turret, Supply Box, and Support Teleport. Next, the 5 primary weapons, the Shotgun VC-30, the Assault Rifle STA-59B, the Light Machine Gun STA-4, the Petrocide Cannon PMB-06, and the Minigun BNS-12A. Then the 2 secondary weapons, the semi-automatic pistol STA-19 and the shotgun pistol VC-15. And finally, the 2 explosives, the M194 grenade and the Petrocide grenade. Recall that all the abilities and weapons in Killzone Shadow Fall are unlocked by default. Only certain attachments and upgrades are unlocked by completing special challenges. I won't cover any of those because they are really straightforward. They basically consist in using the ability or weapon to get kills or to help your teammates. Now, time to elaborate about each one of those abilities. The Revive Drone is the only primary ability for the support class, meaning you will always have this ability available no matter what secondary ability you select. The Revive Drone is a hovering medical robot that can resuscitate critically wounded comrades. Recall that headshots and close combat or melee take down your teammates and you cannot bring them back. The Revive Drone is a great ability that is really useful when attacking or defending an objective. Also recall, you don't have to be too close to revive your teammate. You can always do it from distance. But be careful when doing so. You don't want your teammate to die after being revived. Now let's elaborate about all the secondary abilities. The Air Support Drone is a flying drone that protects a particular area. It uses a minigun to attack enemies nearby. In order to deploy this air drone, you must throw a beacon. Obviously, air drones work better when playing on open maps like the forest or the wall. The Spawn Beacon ability allows you to deploy a temporary infield spawn point for your teammates. Well-placed spawn beacons can make a huge difference when playing a warzone by reducing the time it takes to get to the objective and to provide different flank routes. Spawn beacons are vulnerable to enemy fire, so when you deploy one of them, try to hide it well. The turret ability deploys a sentry turret that will automatically attack enemies in its forward-facing field of view, or in other words, the turret will attack enemies right in front of it. This means that you can easily defend a choke point like corridors or place them a little bit more strategically, like facing a crate that needs to be defended. The Supply Box ability lets you build a supply box that allows your teammates as well as yourself to stock up on health and ammo. Supply boxes usually blend in with the environment, and you can miss them if you don't pay attention. So be careful when building them, and try to place them somewhere visible. Recall that supply boxes are also vulnerable to enemy fire. And finally, the last secondary ability is the Support Teleport. This might look like an ability that doesn't provide any real support to your teammates, but the truth is that this ability teleports yourself to a teammate that happens to need your assistance. It is also great to escape when being under enemy fire. Now, time to talk about the primary and secondary weapons as well as explosives. I won't elaborate too much. Instead, in the near future I will give you a guide for each one of them with more details and more tactics. Let's start with the VC-30 shotgun. This is a close quarters one-shot kill weapon, phenomenal for killing enemies in close range, but just like any other shotgun, it suffers when attacking enemies far away. The STA-59B is an assault rifle great for the medium to long range. Personally, I think this weapon is my jack of all trades. The only kind of limitation is engagements in the close range. The STA-4 is an easy to control light machine gun with a ridiculous ammo capacity. Although hit firing is not the best in Killzone Shadow Fall, this weapon will make your life easier if you tap fire, pull the trigger, stop and pull it again. The Petrocide Cannon PMV06 is another of my favorite support weapons. It's a mounted on the shoulder cannon that shoots up to 3 rounds. It's great for providing support in the medium range, but if you're lucky enough you could also get some kills in the long and close range. It is effective to cause some damage to your enemies before your teammates get closer to them. The VNS-12A is a minigun that inflicts a lot of damage due to its firing rate. The obvious problems are the warm-up time you need to start shooting the weapon, and the cooling down in case you pull the trigger for too long. Works great in the medium range, really useful when attacking a crowded objective. Now, the 2 secondary weapons. First, the semi-automatic pistol STA-19, which is just your normal pistol. Nothing crazy to mention here. It works great even in the medium range. And next, the VC-15. It's your shotgun pistol, only useful when the enemy is really close, otherwise the spread is too high to cause any damage. This weapon is usually one-shot kill in the close range. And finally, the explosives. First, the M194 grenade, which is your fragmentation grenade. Recall, arming grenades takes some time, and you can even cook them, so take advantage of it. Next, the other grenade available to the support class is the Petrocide grenade, which you can consider as an incendiary grenade. Throw this close to a choke point and I assure you will get multi-kills. The support class in Killzone Shadow Fall is a fundamental class. I really encourage you to change your class if you see you're running out of ammo, you feel like you're getting spawn trapped, or you clearly notice the air is being dominated by enemy drones. I personally recommend the VC-30 shotgun for close quarter engagements and the STA-59B for the medium range. But don't get me wrong, all other 3 primary weapons are also fun to use. I don't think any of them is over or underpowered. All 5 are good weapons that serve for different purposes. That's all I have for you, comrade. Please don't forget to rate the video and even consider subscribing to the channel. My name is Mario Carrion, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Until then, be safe.